Once upon a time there was a wise elder who had a student. This student was known for always complaining about everything. No sunrise was beautiful enough. No meal was tasty enough. No matter what happened, he would find something to grumble about. One sunny day, the wise elder decided to teach his student a lesson. He took a handful of salt from a pouch in his kitchen and asked the student to follow him. They first stopped by a small hut where there was a tiny cup of water on a wooden table the elder carried carefully. Poured the salt into the cup and stirred it until the salt was completely dissolved. He then asked his student to taste it. The student made a face as he took a sip. "It's so bitter and salty," he exclaimed. The elder simply nodded and asked the student to follow him again. This time they walked for a while until they reached a large beautiful lake, surrounded by trees. The sun was shining on the lake, making the water sparkle like diamonds. The elder took the same amount of salt and threw it into the lake. He waited for a moment before instructing his student to taste the water from the lake. The student was confused, but he did as he was told and took a sip. After swallowing, he looked surprised and said, "This water is fresh and sweet." The elder looked at his student and said, "The troubles in life are like the salt in the water. Their impact on us depends on the container we put them in. When you put your problem in a small cup like your narrow mind, they seem bitter and hard to bear. But when you throw them into a large lake, they seem small and insignificant." The words of the elder hit the student hard, like a big aha moment. His eyes got big with surprise. From that day on, he started to think differently. He stopped complaining all the time and started to be more thankful. He learned to see things in a new way. A bigger way. Life is full of surprises and problems, some sweet and some not so sweet, just like the salt in our story. But how you experience these problems, it's all up to you. When you let small troubles fill your mind, they can seem big and hard to bear. Like salt in a small cup of water, they can make everything bitter. But remember, your mind can be as wide and beautiful as a lake. When you let your problems fall into this big lake, they become less scary, less bitter. They become a tiny part of your vast life. Your troubles don't define you, but how you deal with them does. It's okay to feel upset or sad sometimes, but don't forget to see the bigger picture, to taste the sweetness that life also offers. So, think big, not small. Be more like the lake, open and accepting. Turn your bitter moments into sweet ones. Remember, you are capable of so much more than you think. You are strong, you are brave, and you can handle the saltiness of life. If you enjoyed this story, please consider subscribing to Vid Growth and sharing your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your insights and any stories. Until next time, be positive and keep moving forward.